Hi, Andre here from Peak Motorcycles. Today I'm going out for a test ride and I'm going out on my Honda CB1000R, and what I'm going to try and ride is something that's completely different. The Royal Enfield 350 Meteor. Now the promo video they did for it with the trip and navigation was actually filmed where I live here in Edale, up the valley. It's a 350cc single, it's completely different to my Honda, but yeah, I'm interested to see what it's like. Great day for riding. So I've had a pretty miserable start to 22 here in the Peak District, where we've had lots of storms, lots of high winds, rain, snow, pretty much everything. Salt on the road, which isn't great for biking. Lots of mud and gravel on the road too. So this is really probably the first really nice weekend we've got, and I think it's going to be like this for the next few days. So hopefully going to get out and get quite a lot of riding and quite a lot of filming done. I'm here at Manhattan Motorcycles in Sheffield, and to try something a little bit different, I'm going to take this Royal Enfield Meteor 350 out. Now, I've seen these bikes at the shows. You know, they're quite big, they're quite heavy, they don't have a huge amount of power, but, you know, sometimes life isn't about only going fast. Yeah, let's see what this is like. So, very first impressions, this 350 single just purrs. It's just super smooth. I work out where the pegs are. There we go. And it's got this rocking gear lever. I don't know if you can just quite see that down on my left hand side, that just rocks forwards and back. But yeah, this is great. It's not often I get on a motorbike, especially something that was unexpected as this, and then just think, yeah, this is really cool. And actually that gearbox just clicks up and down super easily. You know, I'd ridden a Royal Enfield Bullet 500 in India. It just didn't really do anything for me. Whereas this, I think, is a new engine, but sort of old styling. And yeah, this is actually quite a fun bike. So revving that in first, then up to second. Yeah. So this is a funny thing, really. You know, we've kind of got it out of our heads in the UK about bikes with 350cc engines, because they don't make that much power, and they don't. But just as a bike, just to take out for a bit of a potter, especially on, you know, roads like in the Peak District, I think this is quite surprisingly enjoyable, and it is so smooth. You know, I've let's take that into that corner. Yeah, that really is quite incredible, and a real surprise. I think somebody had commented on one of my CRF 300 videos about how they got one of these and how it was great, and yeah, it kind of piqued my interest when I'd seen them at the shows. I thought the finish on them, you know, looked quite nice. But honestly, I thought it's going to be really heavy, you know, a bit agricultural, and maybe not that much fun. And I'm delighted to say even the brakes seem to be okay. But yeah, that is just a really easy bike to ride. And even when it's at idle, I don't know if you can hear that over the GoPro, but it's just this very sort of peaceful, you know, thrum. It's like being on a canal boat. But there's still more than enough to get you away from the lights speedily enough. And that's third gear. There's no rev counter, doesn't really need one. I think you run out of go before you need to know how many revs you're doing. And yeah, I'm really impressed, like really impressed. And I didn't think I would be. Today has been a day of misset expectations. And this one has far exceeded, and one of the other bikes I've ridden today didn't quite measure up. I won't say which one, but I am quite enjoying this 350. We'll see if I can get out onto a road where I can get up a bit more speed. Maybe that's where it'll be a bit disappointing. But the seat is super low, it's just dead easy to get your feet down. It looks a little bit sort of cruiserish, so with the forward mounted pegs, but they're not like proper forward mounted cruiser pegs. Okay. Need to remember that I can use my heel to get into second with that sort of double gear lever. back up into third again, pottering along 30 miles an hour. Yeah, that is fun. Right, I'm going to go and see if I can find a hill. If I can get up a hill, then maybe that will be a measure of what it can and can't do. So I'm now purring along in fifth. The engine sounds like it's about to stop, but then this is kind of how it sounds at idle. And I think for just cruising like that, this bike is just a joy. So it isn't very fast, it is very heavy, it is not going to fly around anything. I'm sure up a mountain pass where you want to be on the edge, this is entirely the wrong bike for that. If you just want to get out and sit on a two-wheeled motor and potter about, this is more fun than you could imagine. So this is an uphill. Now I'm still in fourth gear. I was only doing 25 miles an hour, but even in fourth, if I open the throttle, I mean, yeah, it's not fall off the back acceleration, but it will pull up here in fourth, which is a nice surprise. Some runners, and again from this speed in second, from 10 miles an hour. The steering is surprisingly light for a bike that's got this geometry and this weight. But yeah, this is really, really fun. I shall go and look up some facts and figures, and I will put them in the description for it. I think if you're interested in a bike like this, probably 0 to 60 isn't quite your, the sort of numbers you're looking for. I'm just going to go in here so I can get off and have a quick look and show you around the bike in a bit more detail. So this bike has definitely been the surprise of the day for me. It's only this little 350 in a really heavy bike, but the fit and finish is pretty good, and it just brings a smile to my face when I'm riding, which I really, well, did I expect it? No, probably not. Anyway, I'll give you a close look. I'll just have a quick walk around. I don't have a lot of the specs and things with me here, but I can give you a close look at the bike. If you haven't seen it at a show, then maybe this will be useful. So starting at the back, it's got that long cruiser exhaust pipe all the way down the side. It's got the disc brake at the back. I think it's these Biber, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it. I think it's Brembo's sort of budget brand. The paintwork on this is kind of like a candy apple blue. It's got a little bit of fleck within it, and actually it's just really good. The finish on the engine looks pretty good. I mean the pedals here are a little bit basic, but the finish otherwise on the engine actually looks pretty solid. That tank as well. Even these controls look a lot nicer than what you get on a lot of budget bikes. Some real thought has gone into this and making this look like something special. So down the front, single disc, doesn't really need any more than that. It does have ABS, but these are also by Biber, or however that's pronounced. It's got a conventional headlamp, again not really a problem. I'm not sure I'd be doing how much night riding I'd be doing on something like this. And to come around the other side, this is this double gear lever that I think I mentioned, probably didn't get picked up earlier, so that takes a bit of getting used to. You can do it all with your toe, but you can use your heel as well for shifting the other way. Coming around the back, you can see it's got some pillion pegs. This one's got the little back seat on those rather nice brown seats. So coming up and looking over the bike, again you can see the paintwork, it's rather nice blue with a fleck in it. Simple controls. There's not a lot for it to do really. You just turn it on so you can see what it does. And yeah, it's got a clock, it's got a fuel gauge, doesn't have a rev counter, kind of doesn't really need one. This is the trip and navigation. I'll put a link into it, show how that works. It's basically integrates with your phone, and you do sat nav through your phone, and it just gives you directions when you get to them. I don't really have time to play with that now, so I won't have a go at that. But yeah, just a really, really nice bike. Not for going fast, but if you're looking for something a little bit different, I think this is exceptional. I don't say that very often. Right then, ready for the off again. Yeah, just really surprised by how good this bike is and how much fun it is to ride, even though it's heavy and doesn't have a huge amount of power. I'm just going to start it up again. It's got this slightly odd start button here. Just start straight away though. It does just make you smile. Right then, I shall go and find some hills. So not particularly steep hill, but it is uphill. And just riding in this March sunshine is just, yeah, this bike brings a smile to your face. I mean, that probably sounds silly, and yeah, I'm sure there'll be some people looking at this thinking this bike has such a small engine, this 350 single, makes so little power in such a heavy bike and such a big frame, how could that possibly be fun? But if you have a Royal Enfield dealer anywhere near you, I can definitely recommend trying one and just see if it makes you smile. Now if you're coming off a super bike, then yeah, might not be your sort of thing. But if you want to try something different that costs next to nothing compared to some of those machines, then yeah, this is a really fun bike to ride. It's a bit more like it. This is a 40-mile-an-hour road, and then actually it becomes a 50 when I get around the corner. So I'm not holding up traffic. Here's the 50, fourth gear, opening the throttle. It does take a while to get there, creeping up to 50. This is going uphill, but you know, if you've got time. This is fifth gear, throttle open all the way, mirrors are shaking, but there is progress. You know, I am speeding up, and for bends like these in this sort of scenery and countryside, it's a it's a great bike. It's really comfortable to sit on compared to the old 500, which did really feel like old technology. This is a pleasure. I don't know how much of the sound of the engine is being picked up by the GoPro, but it's quite you know, it doesn't rev particularly highly. Maybe that's why it doesn't have a rev counter, other than the cost as well. But it kind of just pulls. Certainly, first you run out of quite quickly. Second, you know, for prottering around town, you could use, but actually third gear, which I'm in at the moment, just for little roads like this, you know, passing cyclists without upsetting them too much, a little bit of a dip, and then getting back on the power, and that is a lot of fun. It really is. If you have a Royal Enfield dealer anywhere near, you should go and try one of these. If you just want to have the sheer unbridled joy of motorcycling, this does it in a very simple, very slow, but also very fun way. I don't think it has a quick shifter. There you go, it'll almost hit 50 in a second. That's good to know for overtaking. But third just seems like a really useful gear. You know, you could overtake slow moving traffic on a road like this. Third, opening up the throttle, 40, 50, and I'm sure that will carry on to 60, but I probably shouldn't on this road. That's fourth. Again, just a throb that comes from it. Fifth. Anyway, in fifth gear, it's barely at tick over, 40 miles an hour. Open the throttle, it will accelerate up to 50. Coming into a 30 now, so we're just going to slow back down again. But I think, for, you know what, I really love this bike. I never thought I would have said that. I've seen it. I've seen these at the motor shows over the last few months, and they always look quite nice. But you know what? I always thought that's not really for me. A 350 single in a big heavy bike, with, you know, made to a budget, isn't really my sort of bike generally, or at least I thought it wasn't. And now, having ridden one, I think just goes to prove you should always, you know, walk a mile in someone's shoes. This is really fun. It is the end of the day. I do need to give it back in 10 minutes, but I am really impressed with how this bike has been put together and how it drives and how much fun it is. So as you can probably tell from my little squeaks and giggles earlier, I really like this bike. Didn't think I would, didn't think it was my sort of thing. I was wrong. It's really fun. I'm just coming down now through the town, just coming back into Sheffield, and yeah, even around here the steering feels pretty light. The bike, I know it isn't light, but it feels pretty light. The centre of gravity is all very low, and yeah, I'm struggling to find, well, I mean, there's lots of things that aren't what I would normally expect from a motorcycle. It's basic, it's heavy, but it's a very comfortable place to be. It's that sort of throb of that 350 single is quite nice, quite cosy. So yeah, just a really fun bike. I'm almost back at the dealer. I'll stop saying how much I like it and then describing all the problems it has. But honestly, I think that the smile that this will bring to your face outweighs all the things it doesn't do or what we've come to expect from motorcycles. You know, I just think this Meteor 350, I can see why they've sold so many of them. You know, they are really popular, and when I heard that, I couldn't quite work out why. But now I've tried one, yeah, I get it. It's just simple motorcycling, not too fast, won't lose your license, ever so cheap. I'm sure it also goes for a very long way on a gallon of fuel. So yeah, if you have the means, I can strongly recommend picking one up, or at least test riding one, because they really are fun. And as long as you're not in a hurry and you just want to go out and enjoy the weather, enjoy the roads, then I think this is a truly exceptional motorcycle. And I don't like every bike I ride, I really don't. You know, I'm a little bit selective. Made it back to Manhattan Motorcycles just before they closed, returned their demonstrator to them. Yeah, really enjoyed riding that Meteor 350. So yeah, not sure I'll have one, but I'd certainly think about it. Hope this has been interesting and useful. If it has, maybe I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.